Welcome back, Jennylyn.
It's been a long time, Jonathan.
A week is too long. We should make this a daily show. What do you think?
Why not? You have the time?
No. Do you?
No.
Okay. Weekly it is.
So
that was easy enough. Easy decision.
There goes that.
Easy enough. See how fast we reach conclusions? It's amazing. Welcome back. This is segment 22 and a half, I believe.
You're watching How Can You Say That? The 22nd segment?
22nd and a half, because last one was 22nd. This is part 2 of 22.
Okay, so this is part 2 of 22, which is rap music, the positives and negative aspects of it. And we have just completed part 1. And based on what John had to say, it sounds to me like in his world, it's only negative. So
yeah, pretty much.
We'll see. I mean, it's a way of life for so many people. So for you to flag it as all negative is concerning.
Well, you know me. I make sweeping judgments based on any fact or anything.
I have several names for this guy. Rantiton Wright, Man Boy, and now Mop and Broom. I think we're doing well.
I think I earned those titles, so I appreciate you recognizing my achievements. Very nice, thank you.
Definitely have earned them.
So we were talking about in the last segment we were talking about rap music and positive and negative. So this is part 2 of that. So we're going to continue our conversation. Hopefully you caught the last episode. If not, please go to YouTube or LinkedIn or Jennylyn's website, Conversations with Jennylyn, and you'll find everything there to bring you up to speed in case you were busy. So
can I start?
I had an announcement to make.
Go ahead and make your announcement.
So I decided, remember the first segment 21, when we started our video podcast, I mentioned our salary negotiations and the giant size raise that I got. I made a decision that I'm donating my entire salary to charity. Up until segment 30, when we complete this 10, the video ones, I'm not taking any salary. It's all going to charity.
Wow.
How about you? What are you doing with your salary? What are you doing with your salary? Are you keeping it like a greedy miser, or are you going to donate it like me?
I'm giving it to your charity.
Oh, okay, great. Excellent.
Okay, I want to share a story that I feel like somehow ties into the rap music and the negative aspects of it. So as recent as yesterday, and by the way, New Yorkers, I don't like New York. The aggression, it's everywhere. It's in the grocery store.
It's right next to you even.
It's next to me. I mean, serious? I don't get it. Why is everybody so angry here?
We are pissed.
So good story. Yesterday, I had to go to pick up a prescription.
For what? Prescription for what?
My prescription.
For what?
What business of yours is that?
Probably not.
Anyway, I got to the pharmacy and there was no parking. Typical situation here in New York. And so
was this for the fungal infection you were talking about?
John, I do not have a fungal infection. You're such a,
A what? I'm such a what?
Anyway.
Go ahead, call me.
So I got there and I noticed someone was leaving, so I decided to wait. And he saw me waiting and he took his sweet time. And I kept tooting my horn, like, are you leaving? Just let me know so I could, go somewhere else. And finally, he backs out. But as he backs out, another guy playing loud rap music, definitely.
With the crazy bass?
Yeah. Came in from the other side. And the way he backed out, he blocked me from getting into the space I'd been waiting for. And I watched this guy just come in front of me and pull into the spot. And I'm beeping. I was incensed.
Beeping. Oh, you're going to get your ass beat.
Like, you can't. Blah, blah, blah. He went ahead, pulled right in the parking lot. I was having none of it. I'm like, you're going to have to shoot me.
He probably heard that in a rap song that it's acceptable to do that.
I pulled in behind him. And I got out and I walked over to the front of his car and I knocked on the window and he rolled it down and I go, excuse me, from where I stand, you look like a nice person. I get the feeling that you do have integrity. But your actions just now are not consistent with who you appear to be. I was waiting over there for 10 minutes for this spot. And you saw me. He goes, no, I didn't see you.
Yeah.
I go,
Sure you did.
I was sitting on my horn. It just about turned your truck over. How come you didn't see me or
She was
hear
blasting
me?
rap music.
And I go, you know what? Can you do the right thing and back your car up and give me that spot that I waited on? And then you can find one somewhere else.
And did he?
And he backed his car out and gave me the spot.
Probably took down your plate and come murder you later in the evening.
I said, thank you. You did the right thing. And so I'm sharing this because almost everyone I encounter with this attitude is blasting this music.
Yeah, but you're lucky you didn't get beaten down or shot or stabbed.
Well,
Because that could be the outcome also.
Yeah.
Is that worth it really over a parking spot?
Well, let me tell you.
So you value your life as much as a parking spot and that's it?
No.
Who am I going to do a podcast with if something happens to you? That's all I'm thinking about. I mean, thinking about your safety, of course.
Jonathan, this is the problem with the world.
Oh.
Everybody's afraid of the controversy. Everybody's afraid of the bullies. And so we get away with it. But let me tell you something about me. If I didn't go over there and say that and make him move, last night I would have had a heart attack. Because
You mean you would have been angry at yourself?
the reason I do this show is we cannot stop bullies. But you know what? Bullies are cowards. And if you approach them, you can help them out of this behavior. I believe that. I can't change the world. But if I could change a few people, my life was worth living.
Well, that's all fine and dandy, but what does that have to do with rap music, good or bad?
Well, because of what I'm saying is this music makes them feel entitled to do
Like empowered almost.
Yes, because he pulled them listening to this.
Well, maybe that's some of the messaging in the music because you're a woman, and because you're a woman, doesn't really matter.
Well, I have to be honest with you. I do not like rap music. I don't consider it music, but I am nobody. I know it's a genre and I respect that people love it. And some people, it's all they listen to. But I'm a good old fashioned girl. Give me some nice music that I can enjoy that doesn't create havoc with the sensitivity of my eardrums.
Like when they're playing rap and blasting and that bass is shaking the whole car.
Right?
Yeah, when they drive by your whole house shakes.
And so, Jonathan, when you brought this podcast up, I had to do research because I don't listen. I remember my daughter with the 50 Cent CD, and that was enough for me. Every now and then I hear a song and it's rap and it makes sense. It's got a great message and I enjoy it. But I have to tell you clearly, especially after doing research and what I know of the genre, it's a sexual objectification of women by using it as music. I believe over the years, women have consistently been perceived as second-class citizens.
Degraded.
Today, although there is more sexual consciousness and gender equality, this music makes it blatantly apparent that objectification and marginalization of women is still an issue.
It's a big it's a setback for women.
And my question to you is what? What? You're a man. Tell me what. What did women do to you guys?
Why didn't you want to give me that question in advance so I had time to prepare an answer?
If you're not one of them, the
Okay, so
fly off of your
it will. So part of it is insecurity. I think a big problem that a lot of minorities have, especially poor minorities, and this isn't like a black or Spanish thing, it's just minorities, whatever, is that they feel very insecure in society. They are not as well off, so they don't have the resources. And I think that gives them a horrible feeling of insecurity. What does an insecure person do? They tend to bully, they tend to try to control other people and other things because that's really all they have. It's like you look at someone that lives in the slum, like these horrible neighborhoods, minority neighborhoods, but there's a lot of times there's Mercedes in the driveway, there's BMWs. It's like, I don't understand. You live in a house that's in this shithole of a slum. It's worth nothing, but you're driving an $80,000 car? I don't get it. Why are you channeling your resources into the car, which is almost like the car and the clothing? It's like the show in the front, even though the back is all beaten up and destroyed. The idea is to get your back straightened out and your home in good order and your family in good order. And that's where your resources should be channeled. And after that, if there's anything left, then you go after the other things, which are superficial. And so to answer your question, I think a lot of that that degrading of women and referring to them as bitches and whores and this and that is a matter of control. I also noticed a lot of people in minority neighborhoods have pets. They have dogs. You know, it's expensive to have a dog. Why do you have a dog? You gotta feed the dog. You got veterinarian bills. It's very expensive to maintain an animal like that. But why are you putting your resources into that? When you live in a shithole, focus on your lifestyle and improving things. Don't waste money. But again, it's part of like a control thing. If I have a pet, I own this dog. This dog is mine. I have control over it. And it's the same thing of how they treat other people. That's my view.
Well, that's really great encapsulation of what you think is going on, because it's really difficult to speak for everyone. So I think you speak, and I get what you're saying.
Well, you asked me a question.
And no,
it's my opinion.
It's a great answer. It's a great summary of what is
summation, if you will.
Okay, summation of what is probably behind the
thought process. Here. Yes.
But I have to tell you, first, if you look at their videos, women are in the videos, and they're very sexual.
And they're twerking and
their dress, what they're doing, and there seems to be some unawareness of what's really going on here. Maybe these women are too young, so they're a little bit oblivious.
Or they just get
maybe they don't care. Or maybe the money matters.
I think there's fame in it or something.
Maybe the money matters more, but it's just so weird. The whole world just feels so weird. I mean, Hollywood, for example, and the music industry. These were industries that we looked up to, and a lot of us aspired to be a part of. And now I don't want, even if I don't have any opportunities to be, but if I did, I would decline.
Well, I've heard you sing. You're not going to be part of the music industry. Just saying.
My own mother said if I sang for a banana, I will get the peel. So I know, I know, and I own it. Look, I own what's good now.
It's borderline offensive, actually. And I've walked into it a few times when you didn't know I was in the studio, and you're just kind of like, belting out a few tunes. It's.
And you sing, right?
No, but I don't aspire to be in the music industry.
I never said I did.
I think you do. I think you do.
Okay.
I think you'd like to be an actress and a singer and a dancer.
Actress. Jon, I know you have a difficult time with all the things I've done and accomplished in my life.
No, I don't. I think they're wonderful. I'm highly jealous, and I wish that I was able to.
Time for haters. So, what do you see? Look. When you look at the rap music and that whole genre, there have been so many murders, so many
of the rappers have been murdered.
Yes.
You know what that's all about? It's like their own songs are coming back to haunt them. They're promoting a lifestyle, and that lifestyle is coming back to them and hitting them in the head and murdering them.
Well, maybe that, but I happen to have an idea because of some information that's been surfacing lately.
Go ahead.
But I don't want my YouTube's flagged. I don't want them pulling my videos down. Also, I don't know enough. But when I do, I'd be happy to come back and talk about it.
So you're just teasing it? You're teasing us?
Because I love it when the mighty that show you one face, and behind the scenes something else is happening. I love it when they fall, because
do you have information on someone or something?
No one has the right to bully another human, to profit off of another human's life, to enslave another human, and most of all, when that human is a child. We skirted the topic last week when you mentioned the pedophilia.
Yeah, but we can't go off top. That's a whole separate show.
We're not. But what I'm saying is some of these musicians, based on my research and the information I've been privy to over the last month, it would appear that in order for them to become successful, they had to endure certain experiences that I think is lending to the bitterness that we hear coming out in their music.
Well, don't mention.
It's just my personal opinion based on my personal research.
Don't mention any names before you find yourself in court in a lawsuit.
No, that's what I said. I'm not saying any, I'm not giving any names.
You better have your facts straight, baby, if you're gonna.
Anybody, John, why do you talk over me all the time? I never do that to you.
Yes, you do it all.
You're gonna be punished at the end of the show.
The
Anyway,
corner again? I had to spend hours in the studio corner.
I encourage you to do your homework, pay attention. There's a very dark world in parallel with all these things that are affecting many innocent people's lives. So that's all I'm gonna say. And I feel that the rap genre has also been good because a lot of people sang some great songs. Chris Brown, does he sing rap? Because I love his music. Is
Was
he
he
a
the one
rapper?
that beat up Rihanna?
Yeah. Was it Rihanna? Yeah,
Yeah, it was Rihanna.
he beat someone up.
Oh, well, that was nice. A woman he beat up, actually.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
always women getting beat up.
Yeah, well, but it's because generally the men tend to be stronger than the women, and if you're a bully,
There was only
you're the strong.
that really made the news, and she chopped the penis off, and she was talking about
Lorena Bobbitt, you never forgot that woman. For some reason, I made, as you would say, an indelible mark on you.
It's left an indelible mark on my mind, and
I'm gonna sit like this now, if you don't mind. This is my new position on the podcast. Any sharp objects or what dropped on the floor before there? Was that a knife by any chance?
The bracelet fell. Yeah, but the thing is,
Although I'm not having any more kids, I really don't need it anymore, I guess. I mean,
no, but people commit these outrageous crimes, and you just never know why. The other day,
Well-
you know who Jamie Foxx is?
yes,
You know he's been sick, and
yes. He didn't say what he had though.
Well, he's saying now, you should
Stroke,
pay
heart attack?
attention. None of the above. Go
What
look
was
it up yourself. Don't try to get me in.
What was it?
I don't want anybody going after my jugular. It's okay. Go read up on it.
I don't actually care enough.
Okay, good. All right.
He's a good actor though, really good actor.
Did you see him in
Ray Charles, yeah, he was phenomenal in that.
Yeah.
He's a really quality actor. I really like him. But back to the topic. So yeah, the problem is that rap unfortunately promotes a very dangerous lifestyle. And again, like we said before, many rappers have ultimately ended up being victims of the things that they sing about, gang violence. And it's funny because you don't really hear about, you were talking about Jason Aldean before in our prior episode, and everyone coming down on him. I mean, the guy's a country music singer. You never hear about country music singers dying in, violent gang shootings or anything like that. So maybe the problem isn't so much like the country music and the songs about defending yourself from crime and patriotism, but maybe the problems actually lie in the areas that people don't want to talk about, which is these horrible lyrics that are anti-women, they're they're pro gang, pro-violence, proactively shooting, murdering, stealing, things like that. And again, it goes back to like even connecting it to the lifestyle that a lot of these people live. And again, many of them are past criminals and stuff like that. So the unfortunate part, like we said in the prior episode, is that it's if it's isolated in and of itself, it's one thing. But when it's influencing a generation of young minds to emulate something and to think that this is the way things should be, it's really doing a terrible disservice to society. And, unfortunately, as always, the media is petrified to critique and to criticize and to call out that side, whereas they're always so quick to criticize the white performer who might be saying something against the crime, which those people, again, by an admission of referring to it as racist, is saying that we believe these criminals you're referring to actually are minorities, and therefore making them the racists as opposed to the person that's singing the song. And it's really, it's a shame. It really is, because the media has just gone completely off the rails and they don't do the right thing. And not doing the right thing, unfortunately, has horrible ramifications in society. And we ultimately all pay the price for things like that. And it shouldn't be that way. I'm watching also like this women's soccer stuff. The women they're refusing to sing the national anthem, these football players that take a knee and don't sing the national anthem. You know what? if you're so unhappy in this country that you have to riot, that you have to protest, why don't you just leave? Go somewhere else. Maybe there's another country where you'll be happier in, where you feel there's more equality, where you feel you're treated better. No one's holding you here. No, I'm not talking to you. I'm saying no one's holding a citizen hostage here. This is a free country. It's not Russia. It's not North Korea. It's not China, where these people have restrictions on movements and they can't leave. And just go. Find somewhere else you'll be happy. What do you have to hate on patriotic Americans? You know, people that love this country, they call them nationalists. And people refer to nationalists as racist. No, a nationalist is a patriot who loves our country. And if you're not a nationalist and you don't love this country, get out. Go somewhere else. It's not that hard. You take a suitcase, you buy a plane ticket, fly out wherever you want. You know what? Go live in North Korea for a little bit. Go live in the Gaza Strip. Go live in Saudi Arabia, where if you steal something, they chop your hands off. Go live under Sharia law, or whatever it's called. And no, almost, and see how that feels, where they behead you and they chop limbs off for criminal acts. They execute you in Singapore for having small amounts of drugs. Maybe you should be happier in those places than here. How about appreciating what we have here and behaving yourself and stop breaking things and stop burning things and stop stealing things and stop hurting people. Live like a normal person in society so that we can all feel safe and comfortable.
So we're down to 5 minutes, and before we wrap, I wrote the purpose of what I found to be the purpose of rock music. And I think it's a way of working the fight for, evoking the fight for racial equality and communicating anger at social economic conditions. And this has shaped the lives of many young Black people. And I think if they're immature, they focus, or wherever their mindset is, or their personal living condition, that's what they'll focus on from the particular type of music. As what I'm trying to say is, if someone is angry, then they will gravitate toward the negative, hateful parts of rap. What?
Why? Why can't you just take that anger and channel it to education and get a job?
Listen, let me finish, will you? I'm making a point and you're destroying it, as always. And like I said earlier, a lot of it is portraying women in a really negative light by always calling us bitches and then focusing on women's bodies, not their intellect. There are many really smart women, you know?
But you went from racial to gender. Stay with the racial part, because when you're talking about,
I am making a list of reasons why some people, the purpose of rap music for some people.
But violence is never the answer to changing the socioeconomic condition. No, but I'm saying, but that's your point, and I get your point, that they're going about it the wrong way. The way you change your socioeconomic conditions, like whatever, all these minority groups that came to this country, whether it's Jews, Asians, whatever it is, the way they change it is they educate themselves. They focus on family, they focus on religion, and they ultimately become successful because there's a structure.
Okay, before you interrupted me, and I wasn't finished making the point I was making. What I believe, these men and boys, or whoever singing the rap music, they feel it's okay to do it because women are buying it. Women are singing it. Women are dancing to it. So why would men think it's offensive to women?
It's a good point, but it's not why. It's because nobody is stopping them. That's the problem.
Yes, but if all women say, we're going to boycott you, we're not buying your music because it's belittling us and it's making us look cheap and dirty, then they will change their creative.
Well, no, they should boycott the record companies and Def Jam Records and all these places that are producing the garbage. So yeah, no, that's actually, you're right. You make a good point. A call to action to those that are being degraded by this stuff, not to be participants in it and not to be customers of it that consume it.
Because
that's a good point. You finally made a really good point. Congratulations. That was great.
Every week we have these talk shows. Everybody's having podcasts. Everybody's having talk shows. Who is coming up with ideas to change this? We can all sit here and puff hot air. and talk about these things and beat them in the face until they're blue. But who is taking chances? Who is coming up with solutions?
Beat them in the face.
The reason that I know that probably
It's talk yourself till you're blue in the face is the expression.
find me dead somewhere one day, and that's fine, because I am not going to be silent about things that are blatantly needing change.
Well, watch how they'll talk about us on The View, and they'll criticize our show and us and our perspectives, but they won't go after the real hot button topic, which is the problem. And by the way, I was watching something on The View. I was watching a clip, and one of those mental geniuses on The View was talking about.
What are you talking about?
The one with Whoopi Goldberg.
The rare view. That has to be the one.
The Whoopi Goldberg one.
Oh, yeah.
Giant fat Whoopi Goldberg. I don't know if she's the last name Goldberg. She's not Jewish. That's a Jewish name.
Well, I heard she's married to a Jewish guy.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Well, that would explain it.
I tell you, I'm
Wait, but let me say something. So one of the
married to a Jewish guy.
congratulations.
Thank
Who
you. I'm not telling.
introduced me?
No,
Why, you took a liking to kosher food that I introduced you to?
no, I'm gonna teach him to eat West Indian spicy food.
Oh, so you're gonna teach him how to eat unkosher and violate his religion? Oh, that'll send you straight to hell.
But it will have kosher peppers, kosher garlic.
All garlic is kosher. All
Kosher
peppers are kosher.
thyme. Don't worry.
Everything you mentioned so far is kosher. It doesn't have to. Yeah.
He'll just be eating food with flavor.
Who is this poor bastard? I mean, this lovely gentleman you must be interested in. Anyway, so let's wrap up.
Wanting me to put all my business out on the World Wide Web.
You're a media sensation. People look up to you.
Oh yeah, right. And which one of my dreams?
I look up to you. I worship
You
you.
are not people.
I worship your career and your accomplishments.
You're such a
Your biggest accomplishment is sitting here with me. Anyway, are you donating you agreed already to donate your salary to charity? Is that what we agreed on? Why?
You really do. You're funny, Jonathan.
Why don't you tell him how I bought you a corned beef sandwich the other day at a kosher deli?
I didn't know that's why you offered it, so that I would talk about it. But unfortunately, we're out of time.
Damn it. We'll be back to that on the next segment. And we have some interesting segments coming up, so stay tuned. But Jenny, why don't you close up shop here?
It's going to be incompetence. Oh my God, I can't wait. We're going to need 2 or 3 hours for this.
Incompetence, starring Jennylyn Gleave.
No, yes, sorry, Jennylyn. Anyway, guys,
And Jon
thank
Jen.
you so much for watching us. As you can see, this show is just, Jon and I are just raw and authentic because we don't know how to be any other way. And the reason I've chosen him to do this with me is he's the only person I've ever met in my life crazier than I.
Oh, I thought you meant to elevate your career. But okay, either way, I'll take it.
No, I know that I'm on a slippery slope to the gutter, but whatever.
I think I really do need a bra, by the way.
Anyway, thank you guys, and we'll see you next time with our next segment. And thank you again. Bye-bye.
Have a lovely evening.